And let's start the timer. Well, hello everyone and welcome to News in the Alley. My name of course is Eric. This is Aperture Alley's official news show. Now I've made news shows talking about filmmaking and technology in the past, but this is a brand new setup. We're kind of doing like a podcast setup. Start a timer. Within 5 minutes, I have to give you all the news that I could potentially give to you within that 5 minutes. So the clock's ticking. Let's get into it. First up, let's talk about the iPhone X and whether or not it's going to be discontinued. Discontinued? What are you talking about? Well, there's a lot of rumors that Apple is going to be discontinuing the iPhone X due to the lack of sales. They've had to cut a lot of production in China because not many people are buying the iPhone X. It was big when it came out, but sales are slowly declining, and I think that's because of two reasons. First off, the price at $1,000, it's a lot of money. Also, the screen size is the second reason. The iPhone X has a 5.8-inch screen, which actually is bigger than like my iPhone 8 Plus, which has a 5.5-inch screen. But the reality is the iPhone X just feels smaller. So because of that, there's a potential that it's going to be discontinued. But honestly, to bring back sales, Apple's probably going to be releasing a larger iPhone, like with a 6.1-inch screen. Don't expect it to have OLEDs. For a screen, expected to have an LCD screen due to OLED supply and demand. Anyway, moving right along, Apple's HomePod, which they announced last year. If you're interested in this device, the HomePod is very similar to like Amazon's Echo product. The HomePod is coming out February 9th, 2018. And if you're interested, you can pre-order it on January 26th. Moving right along, let's talk about Intel. If you own a computer with an Intel processor, which is there's a good chance you own a computer with an Intel processor. You may or may not know that there's a lot of problems going on with Intel right now. There's a ton of vulnerability that's been discovered about Intel's processors, and Intel is trying to work on a fix to prevent meltdowns and catastrophic problems. Unfortunately, Intel's updates, patches for their processors have essentially failed. In terms of Windows and Apple has been, or Microsoft and Apple, I should say, have been releasing updates to fix these problems, but they have only actually caused more problems. People are reporting that their computers are not booting up. So if you have an update pending on your computer, I recommend right now, for right now, don't update your computer. Just let it be for a couple more weeks and hopefully Intel will fix their problems. Continuing on, let's talk about drones. And this is why I wanted to make a show today. So first off, GoPro. GoPro has stated that they are out of the drone market. If you don't know, they came out with the Karma, the GoPro Karma, which was a drone made for their GoPros. Unfortunately, that was a complete fail. They had to recall all the devices, fix them, and then by the time they came out, other companies made way better drones. So GoPro said, I'm out of the market. I don't want to worry about it. So DJI is now the king. I mean, they were actually always the king. And the reason I mentioned DJI today is DJI came out with a brand new drone, the Mavic Air. Now, the Mavic Air sits in between the DJI Spark, which is a $399 product, which I would consider to be a toy, as well as the Mavic Pro, which is able to get you some pretty professional photos and videos, but it's cheaper than their Phantom series, as well as it's very portable. It folds up. It's easy to store in a backpack. Well, the Mavic Air is even smaller than the Mavic Pro. This product literally fits in your pocket as long as you have a decent sized pocket. It actually, in some ways, is smaller than the DJI Spark. So just because of the size of this unit makes it a fantastic potential tool. I want to get it, just have it in my bag for any photo and video shoots I have. It's so easy just to pull it out, send it up. It's going to shoot in 4K at up to 30 frames per second, which is really good. It's also going to be able to do 1080p at 120 or 180 frames per second, which is really nice for slow motion shots and whatnot. Really great, smooth movement. DJI has said that they have done a lot of work with the gimbal, with the software to make really stunning images. And I've seen some demos of the Mavic Air, and the footage out of it looks pretty good. It might not be as good as the Mavic Pro, and it's definitely not as good as the Phantom 4 Pro, but it still looks like it's going to be a fantastic piece of hardware, a great tool to put in your arsenal at a price tag of $799. It's not bad. And hey, look at that. The timer is off, so that means I have to end today's episode. So that is the first episode of News in the Alley. We're working on the name, we're working on the setup. Anyway, guys, I gotta head out of here, so I'll catch you in the next one.